Elon Musk instantly went from hero to zero in the crypto community because he had the audacity to sell a little Bitcoin. Once again, crypto Twitter is up in arms because of someone else's financial decisions that have absolutely nothing to do with them. I'm going to talk about everything you need to know about this Tesla news and look at the charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin and tell you what I think is coming next. Stay tuned. What is up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Please, before we get started, hit that subscribe button and go ahead and like this video. Hit that thumbs up down below. Now, as I alluded to in the introduction, crypto Twitter is up in arms because Elon Musk dared to sell some of his Bitcoins. They don't think he has diamond hands anymore. They think that he's turned to spaghetti hands, as I like to say, shredded lettuce, string cheese, whatever you want to say. His hands are apparently weak. Dave Portnoy came after him and said he was supposed to hold. Rich, coming from the guy who literally capitulated after a small loss when Bitcoin was under $10,000. Elon Musk was very quick to clarify his position, saying that he had not sold any of his Bitcoin, that Tesla had sold a small percent, and they were doing it just to test liquidity in the market, which was effective. Now let's dig into this news and talk about the narrative that is being spun by crypto Twitter versus the real narrative that everyone should be talking about. First, as you can see here, the Wall Street Journal has a headline: Tesla makes more money trading Bitcoin than selling cars. That is a positive narrative that you want to focus on. They made all of their money in the first quarter by selling a little bit of their Bitcoin and trading regulatory credits, not on their auto sales. They made $110 million by selling $272 million worth of Bitcoin. Now, why are we so mad that he dared to sell a little bit of his Bitcoin? Why do we feel so betrayed? Anyone who has ever traded in any market knows that there's no better feeling than taking your initial investment off the table and playing with the house's money. Not only did Musk do that, he took a little bit of the profit so that it will never, ever be viewed as a bad decision again for Tesla to have bought some Bitcoin. This is absolutely a smart move, a strong move, and one that we should all be applauding. Further, the value of that Bitcoin has more than doubled since they bought it around $30,000. So he still has way more Bitcoin than they did when they started, almost double. And this $272 million sale merely represents about 10% of their holdings. Would you rather them have bought $1 billion worth and just held it all? Then they would have less Bitcoin than they do now. This should be cheered and applauded and not criticized. More importantly, Elon Musk said it himself in a tweet to Dave Portnoy: they have proved liquidity. If you want a path for other institutions to follow, for other companies to follow, this is the path that's more likely. We all love Michael Saylor because he's an inspiration and because he's an idol and because he's an epic mega giga chad who is never going to sell his Bitcoin. But most companies cannot do that. They cannot raise debt to buy Bitcoin. They cannot have half of their company's value in Bitcoin. But what they can do is buy a whole lot of it, hold most of it, and take profit sometimes to use that to boost their bottom line and make their quarterly earnings look better, which is exactly what Tesla did. And now Elon Musk and Tesla have showed all of these companies, not only can you buy this as a treasury asset to hold, but it can actually boost your bottom line and help your company make money. And what else are people missing in this news? In his tweet to Dave Portnoy, he said, "I didn't sell any of my Bitcoin. Tesla sold a little." We have never seen Elon Musk admit that he personally owns any Bitcoin. This is epic. This is huge news. And that is what people should be focusing on. Not the fact that Tesla, which is a publicly traded company, made a good financial decision after hitting the absolute lottery by buying some Bitcoin. Guys, there is nothing wrong in any market, even this one, with occasionally taking profit at the right moment. If you are a trader or an investor, do not let the community or anyone else tell you when you should take profit and when you should sell some of your coins, whether they be Bitcoin or something else. It is your own decision. It is based on your own financial situation. It is something that you may need to do to better your life at some point. I think Elon Musk is setting a great example here. Now, as I promised, we can dig into the charts and see what we're looking at on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. First, I'm going to very briefly look at Bitcoin. Not much has changed. We had the large bounce yesterday, but to that point, that's when we had Bullish divergence confirming. That's when we had the salt levels on Twitter at all-time highs, as I've discussed. That was probably the ideal time to buy, although it's hard to catch a falling knife. That was a very, very high hit rate long into the higher areas. Now we're coming into very strong resistance. As I've talked about many times, you almost always see at least a 50% bounce after any impulsive move down. So we have not even gotten back to that 50% level at 55,949 of this bounce. That also lines up basically with a very strong supply zone from all of this price action here and even all of this price action over here. And we have the 50 MA there as well. Savvy traders who think we're in a downtrade will actually be looking to short this and take it to lower targets. But anyone who is bullish would probably want to wait till we're above that level to take it and head back up. That being said, you just don't really buy right into to resistance. This seems like we've had our bounce. Now we need to watch and wait and see. At least that is my approach. I want to take a very quick look at Bitcoin dominance. Now, as I've said before, charting Bitcoin dominance is a bit of a meme. It's a bit misleading. This is not a tradable asset, so supply and demand don't really exist because nobody is placing orders in these areas. But it is notable that it is hovering just above 50% and looks ready to fall off a cliff. If it does fall off that cliff, we should see another epic run of alts and an alt season, if you like to call it that. Although it has seemingly been a perpetual alt season probably for 6 months to a year, just depending on which market you have been able to identify and trade in. If you're trading coins like Solana and FTT, well, let's be real, or Matic for that matter, it's been alt season endlessly. So it's just a matter of where you have your capital. But why are we seeing this drop in Bitcoin dominance? It's because we're seeing this incredible strength of Ethereum against Bitcoin. I'm not going to spend too much time on this chart. We've gone over it over and over again, but we had this confirmed inverse head and shoulders, this break of resistance, this huge weekly candle while Bitcoin was retracing, and now we're seeing even further push up. Ethereum is beating Bitcoin. It's beating it badly, and I expect that to continue. Now looking at the Ethereum USD pair, you can see we haven't even reached our target of 3,600 from this bull pennant breakout, but we are about to hopefully set another new all-time high and pushing through resistance. Everything looks really good on this coin. I think it's almost irresponsible not to have some exposure to Ethereum if you have exposure to Bitcoin, because I think it has a very likely chance of outperforming. And we just saw today that Ethereum had the highest amount of transactions in history on the network. So this is both fundamentally and technically bullish. Last, I want to take a very quick look at Litecoin, because I think this might be the trade. And as we saw in the past, Bitcoin to Ethereum to Litecoin in the bull run, well, that might be happening here. On the Bitcoin pair, we did have huge movement up, drawback, but that is a retest of this resistance as support. This is a very key area. This is a weekly chart. This resistance goes back to February of 20, really long time. So I'm thinking that we're getting this retest as support. Anything above 4394 here is really good, but I think that we should be targeting 7976, the area at the top of this. Breakout, retest as support, movement away, hits the target. And on the USD pair, this is something that I drew yesterday on a live stream when price was down here around $248. I was looking for a break through this resistance of this channel, a retest of support, and a move up to $370, $780. Nothing has changed yet. We now have the breakout and the potential retest of support. If that holds, I would expect us to see much, much higher prices. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Those are my thoughts on Tesla, Elon Musk, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Once again, please subscribe, hit that like button right down below, and please check out everything that I have going on in the description. I have an incredible newsletter that comes out 5 days a week, and also you can read about my amazing sponsor, Femex. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.